Alright, hello everyone. We are going to be doing a playoff predictions video. I know it's a little bit late. I actually missed the wild card. I missed it by like a day. I was like, oh crap, I forgot to do it. I guess I'll wait for the divisional round. So, the fun thing about the divisional round is at least we get to see the number one seeds play. So, uh, yeah. So, I hope you like this photo. I saw this online. I thought it looked really cool. I like how they gave tribute to some running backs like Saquon here and Amon Ra. I don't really like to put Patrick Mahomes here though because he hasn't had a very good season. But you know what? Also, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird. I've been kind of sick lately, so I apologize for that. Alrighty, so this is the playoff picture we're looking at right now for Licks Super Bowl 59. So we saw the what's it called? We already saw the Vikings and Rams, and actually, honestly, this playoff year has been pretty boring. No close games really. I don't think there was a single game that was. Actually, there was one game that was good, but oh crap! I forgot this LA logo. That's kind of funny. These two logos are still here. Anyway, but there wasn't there was only one game that was single digit scoring. Like there was only one game that was within one score, and that was the Commanders and Buccaneers, which I figured that'd be a good game. That was like the only good game we've had so far in the playoffs. This one was like 32-9 or something. It wasn't that close. This one was two scores. Well, this so yeah, this one was multiple scores, multiple scores. This one was pretty embarrassing too. This one was 28-14. This one you can't see. Was Broncos and Bills. That one wasn't even close either. So a really boring wild card. So I guess we didn't miss out on much. If I had to predict, I probably would have said Rams just because I felt like the Vikings were kind of frauds. I probably would have picked the Buccaneers over the Commanders. Probably. I actually don't know if I would have or not. I definitely would have, and I probably would chose the Eagles over the Packers, honestly, because the Eagles beat the Packers when the Eagles were a worse team. And yeah, it was a good game though. The first time they met, this time it was not as good. Jordan Love played pretty crappy, just like how Justin Herbert played pretty crappy. I thought they were. I actually thought the Chargers were going to beat the Texans. I thought the Texans were kind of frauds. So that surprised me. Everyone thought the Ravens were going to win. Everyone knew the Bills were going to win. So those weren't shockers at all. The only shocker, I mean, on paper, I guess you could see why this was the best game. But yeah, uh, game-winning playoff doink here for the Commanders, which was pretty darn cool. All right, so first we're moving on with our first prediction. Obviously, it's the Lions. I mean, I've heard David Montgomery's coming back, which is really nice for the Lions. They need all the help they can get. They need help on defense, though. I mean, their defense is like all injured, so that's not good for them. But the Commanders have been they're good, obviously. Right, they've had a good year, but I don't think they are the better than the Lions, who I think are the best team in the NFL. There's no way they win. They're lucky to even have a playoff win in general. Uh, Easy take Lions here, no question. Then the next game I had the Chiefs beating the Texans. I don't think that one should be much surprise to anyone either. The only concern maybe is that the Chiefs have been resting for 3 weeks now. They haven't played a game in what 24, 25 days, 25 days. The starters haven't because they rested for the Broncos game and they had another week of rest in the playoffs. So it's been over 3 weeks since the starters have played. So uh, we'll see, but I don't see how the Texans can win. I mean, the was that whether receivers hurt Tank Dell or whatever. Uh, I don't know. I think Joe Mixon's in now. He'll have to do really well, I guess. But I don't see it. The Chiefs. I don't want them to win, but I'd be pretty surprised if they lost that game, especially seeing the history that they have against the Texans. All right. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Rams, which also happened in the regular season. I think that's the game that Saquon put up 255 yards. I love Saquon. He's such a great running back. He was done so dirty by the New York Giants when he was there. He deserves so much more, and I think he will run up the numbers against LA. And I think their defense won't be enough to stop him or even Jalen Hurts. The Eagles, I think they definitely have the number one run game in the NFL, right behind the Ravens, who are also in the playoffs right now. We're going to talk about them in just a little bit, just a moment actually. And yeah, I think the Rams have a great like Cinderella story. Like the fact that they're even in the playoffs is pretty fascinating. They started out 2-7 or whatever. They started off horribly, and they finished the season amazingly. So uh, props to them for even making it this far. But I think it comes to it, and that Eagles team is insane. I mean, they almost got the number one seed, and they had like 10, 11 wins in a row at one point. They've been cooking in this end of the season for sure. Their only loss was what at the very end of the game against the Commanders, who were their rivals. So understandable, I guess. All right, so we have the Ravens and Bills. Who did I choose? I chose the Ravens. And now you might be thinking, well, the Bills and the Ravens played each other earlier in the season. Uh, Actually, all these games are games from earlier in the season, except for the Lions and Commanders. I think. I don't know if they've actually played earlier. I think the reason I think the Ravens win this time instead of the Bills is because I feel like the Ravens have their first half of the season wasn't that great. They were losing a lot of games, and but they really got their stuff together towards the end and really ran the table there. They finished out what 12-5. They won the division like they were a dark horse division winner. No one thought they were going to win over the Steelers. The Steelers seemed to have it wrapped up, but nope, the Ravens won it, and I think Josh Allen and the Bills would be great, but uh, I think Lamar and Derrick Henry is a huge addition of Derrick Henry. Uh, won't be too much for the Bills defense. Bills defense hasn't been that great this year, and I think the Ravens will just be too much for them. Now these are going to be some interesting what's it called championship games. I also think all four of these. I mean, both of these could go either way, but I had to choose one. So here we go. First up, I chose the Lions. Now, why did I choose the Lions? They're unstoppable. The only teams that beat them were the Bucks and who was the other team that beat them? I forgot. I don't remember who. Oh yeah, the Bills. The Bills. The Bucks and the Bills are the only teams that beat them in the regular season. And look, neither of them are here. So why should they lose again? Simple as that. Again, they'll have David Montgomery back by this point, and their offense is just so stellar. You got Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. You have so many targets, receivers, and you also have that dual threat at running back. Their defense could slip up, especially against Saquon, who could prove to be a problem to the Lions' defense. So I do see the Eagles could win this one for sure, right? Because they've looked pretty unbeatable. Uh, but I'm still going the Lions. I trust that they're the best. Every time I watch the Lions play, I just think to myself, how do you beat this team? They look unstoppable. And for the Chiefs and Ravens, I had to go Chiefs. I'm sorry. Lamar, he has had trouble. Lamar and Josh Allen both have had problems with beating the Chiefs. They struggle to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Uh, I think the Bills would have a better shot, actually. We saw that in the regular season, but I. as hard as it is for me to say it, I know how the Chiefs are in the playoffs. They'll look horrible in the regular season. and then something just turns on in the playoffs. I don't know what it is, but every time, every year that I count them out, that I doubt them, like last year, I doubted them. Every time they somehow come back, and I don't see anything different about this Chiefs team. If anything, they're better, right? Because they have a better record and they find a way to win. So, and they'll be an Arrowhead. All these are home games. I don't know. Oh, the Super Bowl is not a home game, so this is our Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl people have been talking about for a long time. It's pretty basic because I mean it's just two number one seeds. Anyone can really come up with this Super Bowl, right? But I actually think the Eagles and Ravens Super Bowl is almost as likely as the Lions and Chiefs. Lions and Ravens would be interesting Super Bowl too. Uh, or even a lot, yeah, Eagles and Ravens. That would be pretty interesting. The Bird Super Bowl, right? That'd be pretty cool. We really don't want to see Chiefs and Eagles though, which uh, very like plausible, but I hope we don't get that because we already had that 2 years ago. Anyways, who do I think is going to win the Super Bowl? Well, does the Lions curse end? I mean, it basically is over because they've never even made the Super Bowl, so that's huge. I think the Lions are better, but the Chiefs have so much experience in the Super Bowl. They know what they're doing. Mahomes, right? Jared Goff, the last time he was in the Super Bowl, he didn't play too hot, if you remember. I I've seen nothing that would stop this Chiefs team from not three-peating, so I chose the Chiefs. Everyone says no, they're not going to three-peat. We've said this before. The Chiefs are always somehow make it to the Super Bowl. The only time they didn't win is because Brady, right? The other guy that always wins the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is always Brady or Mahomes. And since there's no more Brady, it's got to be Mahomes. And I'm sorry to tell you that. It's just the fact. That's the era we live in. This is what I think. I Lions, I mean, I want to pick them, but they're kind of a cursed franchise. And they were supposed to make the Super Bowl last time. They didn't. And this time they have made the Super Bowl, but they haven't won it. So maybe next time they'll make another step. Last year they made it to the championship. This year they make it to the Super Bowl. Next year they win the Super Bowl. Who knows? A lot of their team's still young, so perfectly plausible. But yeah, I got the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, guys. Probably not what you want to hear, but that's what I got. Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Before we go, I want to look at the weather forecast. So it's gonna be a bit cold, right? Kansas City, fortunately, is playing on Saturday, so they won't face as much cold if they played Sunday, really cold. It won't be nearly as cold as that one ice bowl game against the Dolphins, though. But the Buffalo game will be pretty cold. Right? It's about the same as the Kansas City game. Could snow though, right? There's a chance of snow in the late afternoon, so that'll be kind of fun if we can see some snow to at least in the second half of the game. That like we saw in the Browns Steelers. I think it was Thursday Night Football. I don't remember. But that was a fun little game. And I brought up Washington D.C. weather because Trump's inauguration is MLK Day, ironically enough, right? Martin Luther King. And it's 23 degrees as the high, probably about 19 or 20 when he was supposed to speak. And the reason I brought this up is because his inauguration just got moved to indoors. So just wanted to look at that and show you what I honestly think that's not too cold to do a speech outdoors, but you know, maybe it was safety reasons. We all know Trump, almost got killed one time when he was giving a speech, and considering this is an inauguration event, he's there's a lot of animosity going on. Maybe he's cautious on that as well. Of course, the weather is a bit chilly as well, so not going to speculate, but there you go. So I hope you liked my playoff prediction video and this little end of the video forecast. I always trust the National Weather Service for all my forecasts. They're the best. They're the go to forecast. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. See you later and peace.